Good afternoon. Welcome to What's New in Business Central 2023, Wave 2. We are going to look at improvements coming with this new release of Business Central. Version 23.1 should now be available to update your sandboxes, then test thoroughly, we recommend it, and then schedule the update of your production environments. Do not forget to update your apps. You will have new app versions available with this release wave 2. Some of the improvements in this new release come from ideas submitted either by partners or end users like you through the Ideas portal from Microsoft. So you can log into this portal and then either vote for existing ideas, comment on them to supplement the information, or submit a new idea. You can then share this idea by just emailing the link to colleagues and partners, including us. We'll happily upvote any ideas you submit through the portal. So since the portal's inception, thousands of ideas have been deployed in releases by Microsoft in Business Central and other apps. We will now switch to Business Central to review some improvements that are available with this new version of the solution. Tell Me, the search function, as we call it, has been expanded to let you search for data in Business Central. So you'll see that you have a new option here, Search Company Data. So instead of searching for functions, you search through tables using a keyword or keywords. So here, if I search for Adatum, that's a customer in this Kronos environment, I can find contacts, customers, entries related to that keyword. I could also search for, say, chair, and then the system would go through the tables and find chair wherever it can find it. You can customize the tables the search will go through. We recommend you don't put all tables, but stick to the essential ones and likely the transactional ones, because too many tables means a lot of data to search through, which could impact the performance of the search engine. I'll now navigate to my sales orders to show improvements that are available on most documents. So when we say documents, we mean sales orders, quotes, shipments, receipts. On the purchase side, the orders, the various documents that are available, the credit memos too. So those improvements are available throughout these pages. On my sales order here, I have now what is called an advanced lookup or related record lookup. So if I select this line here, it used to be that to get to the item card, I had to select from full list, then click on more, then click on view. With the show details button, I can now jump directly to my item card and see the information without clicking too many times. Another improvement is that the inventory adjustment button is now an option. That's the ellipsis that was here that people use to consult the inventory by location, but were using to make adjustments by mistake. The setup for this button is in the inventory setup. It's the allow inventory adjustment. We strongly recommend you toggle it off. So I'm toggling on to show it to you. I'm going to refresh my page here so that it can display. So what that button does is that when you click on it, it opens not the availability by location, but the adjust inventory page. And you can actually post inventory adjustments from here by entering a new inventory quantity. So when I click OK, what this will do is it will post adjustments to my items and change the quantities that are available. We want to avoid that in most cases So the idea is to hide the button or really train users on how to use this button to make inventory adjustments. It has the same purpose as you would have with the inventory journal, for example, which is typically preferred. Another new feature is you can block variants. So I will go to an item where I have variants. I have one on my sales order here. So if I select my coffee filters and navigate and go to my variants, I can now block variants entirely for sales or for purchases. For example, I could have some in stock that I want to continue selling until I deplete my stock, but I don't want to buy more. So I would block the purchasing of the variant. That means that on a purchase order, the variant would not show on the list of available variants when I create my document. On sales documents, though, that variant would be available until I block it. Once the stock is depleted, I could then completely block my variant to eventually remove it. Other improvement, we're all excited about Copilot and AI and getting assistance from AI in various systems. You can now create marketing text, so item descriptions or little blurbs directly with Copilot in Business Central. So by clicking on the little button here, it will generate a marketing text for my coffee filters. You can review it, you can update it. It's, you know, it gives good ideas and a good base for a description. You can also dismiss it and ask for a new one if you want. You will see Copilot popping in certain areas of the system. So this is one of the first spots we use it in Business Central. You can personalize to display the pane if it's not shown once you update it to version 23. I'm going to go back to my sales order here. One really nice improvements, the quantity shipped, quantity invoiced, you have a drill down on them. It was not the case in current and previous versions. So now you can drill down directly on the quantity instead of navigating through the menu on top to get to receipts or shipments. So you get the information directly on the page here. You can show the document and navigate to the shipment. You can also see the item tracking, so serial or lot number tracking can be displayed from this page too. This is available on orders, shipments, receipts, invoices, and credits. So that's both on the sales and purchase documents side. You'll notice that I have more than one tab open. One on the tabs, it used to be that you saw Business Central and it was a very generic description. You now see the page you're on, the record you're on, the company name, and the demo you see there is the company badge. So you know exactly where you are, because sometimes you could have several tabs open and not all for the same company if you work in a multi-company environment. So it's really neat to be able to just hover over the pages and see the details. On this page here, new improvement. Some of you might have toggled this function on. You can do that safely in your production environment. It is the analyze or analysis mode. You can activate it from the feature management page. What it does is it gives you a pivot table or grid-like mode so you can do quick analysis in the system. So here, what I have is my posted sales invoice lines that I filtered to a specific customer. I'm going to remove that filter now. And what I did is I selected columns. So I wanted my item number, I wanted the quantity sold, I wanted my prices and amounts, and I wanted it grouped, so the lines grouped by item number. So what I'm seeing here is effectively how much I sold of each of my items, And I can apply here a posting date period if I want to. I can apply a customer filter also to see what I sold for how much to my customers. So for Aditum, I sold these items for these amounts. I can also select lines and amounts to get stats at the bottom. So it will calculate your average, your line count, min, max, and the sum, which is often what we're after. So this lets you do some quick analysis directly in Business Central instead of going to Excel and then creating a pivot table and then getting your results. The neat thing too is that this saves. So if I toggle it on and off, it stays. So if I go back, that's my regular page in regular list mode for the posted sales invoices. And when I toggle it on, I am back with my filters on my items sales amounts. I can create more and they will stay saved. Other neat thing, you can copy that link, email it to a colleague, they can paste it back and they will get access to this same tab and it will save it for them. You'll notice that the filters are gone because they were user specific, so they can apply their own filters to their own views. This is also neat as a saved view. So I'm going to go to the items here, and under my saved views, I have an analysis view for my items by location. I have a list of my items with the remaining quantity on hand, and when there's a location specified, the quantity per location. I could change my filters and update the view, but you can save those and make them easily accessible, so you can just toggle the views instead of navigating or clicking through pages to get to the information. Last item we want to show directly in Business Central is a feature that is not brand new, but is not necessarily well known. On general journals batches, you have an option to copy to posted journal lines. You want to tick those. So as you watch this recording, you might want to open Business Central, go to your general journal batches and tick these boxes. What it does is that when you post entries, they go to the entries and the registers as usual, but they also go to posted general journals. And the full register is there, but you can also drill down to the entries and navigate. So it will accumulate here. And you want to do that because of these two functions here. You can take a register and copy it back to the general journal. You select a journal, you select a batch, you can replace the posting date, change the document number, and you can also reverse the sign. So we sometimes get requests for ways to easily do an entry that was, done incorrectly, then reversed, and you want to do the same one, but you don't want to type in all the lines or copy from Excel or use a configuration package to load the lines. If on the job batch, on the journal batch, you have the option activated, then the lines will have copied to the posted general journals, and you can use this function to create your new entry and saving a ton of typing and manipulating data. I'm going to go back to the presentation for a couple more improvements. The actions on error messages have been improved. The error messages are more detailed, they're clearer. You can have actions. So in this example, what we're seeing is an error on a journal line that requires approval. So you have the option to show the comments related to the record. You can reject the approval directly from the error message. You can also refresh to undo the change that was made, or you can copy, which copies the error message, and then you can paste it back and maybe send it to a colleague through Teams or an email or support if you need assistance with the error. Currency exchange rates adjustments have changed too. So you now have a preview posting for the adjustments. You can select how you want the dimensions to behave. So they can be taken from the source postings from the gain loss GL accounts. They can be none, so you can have no dimensions on the postings too. You can post entries for adjustments per transaction or summarize per currency. And the big new thing is that entries that have been adjusted by the exchange rates adjustment routine can now be reversed. So it used to be that you would get sometimes an error message when trying to reverse an entry telling you this entry cannot be reversed because it has been adjusted for currency exchange. You will no longer get this error message because the routine for reversal will take that into account and will let it through. You can now decouple posting and document dates. So right now, when you change the posting date on a document, it updates the document date to match, and you have to update the document date manually if you want it to be different. For example, on a vendor invoice, if the vendor has a date on an invoice, but you want to post it at a different date, maybe the period's closed, or maybe you want the date you're actually posting it on. So with that setup that is found on the purchases and payables setup and also on the sales and receivables setup, you have the link doc date to posting date field. If it's no, like it is now in the screenshot, changing the posting date will not update the document date. This applies to documents, not to journal entries. General allocations have been updated too, to distribute revenue or cost amounts across GL accounts and dimensions. These can be used on documents, on document lines, and in journals. You can use fixed amounts to do allocations. You can use variable amounts like the balance of an account, or you can use statistical accounts too. So, for example, you could use the allocation keys to automate postings related to your payroll overhead. When posting the total salary expense at the end of the month, you would use the automatic account codes or allocation codes to assign a percentage of the total salary to overhead expenses or to specific dimensions. You could also use the headcount per department to allocate and distribute the cost per the department dimension on some accounts. So those are examples of scenarios where you would use these instead of using the recurring journals. So these can be predefined, pre-allocated, and then when you run the postings, the allocation will be distributed in the background. Customer statement and statements changes. So there are two reports, and all options were not available on both reports. Good news is with the improvement, whether you run the customer statement or customer statements plural, the balance only, so showing only the entries that have a balance, a remaining amount, that option will be available on both reports. The open item option remains available on both reports too. So this option shows all open ledger entries that fall within the report filters. So typically the dates you're working with on the report. There are mobile app improvements. You now can access worksheet pages. It used to be that you would get an error message when trying to access worksheet pages saying that this was not supported by the interface. So some worksheets will now be available. You can use the tell me or search to search through pages and data, so same as in the web client. The app is also faster, so it loads faster. You can navigate more easily. Bookmarks work, so you can actually bookmark pages and have them saved for ease of access. And you can also read barcodes using the camera on your device, so Android, iPhone. It is a reader, so there can be functions that you would want to code, or you can use it to just replace typing. So instead of typing an item or document number, you can scan and read the barcode. And more. So we have limited time with those webinars and cannot go over all improvements. But in this new version, the auto match for the bank reconciliation will be improved with AI-powered matches that will help you avoid orphan entries or entries that you have to manually match during the process. You can do intercompany and consolidation across environments. With intercompany, the approval workflows are now supported on those transactions with this version. There are advanced warehousing options. So if you use warehouse shipments, if you pick, pack, if you have controls for bins or on consumption and production orders, there are a ton of improvements in that area. You should take a look at the release notes for this item specifically. You now have a rich text editor in emails, but also other fields. So that means that it's not plain text only. You can have pictures, you can have your signature and other rich text in text fields. Navigation is faster. The tabs open faster too. You might notice this less in sandbox environments though. And you might want to take a look at your list of companies to see if you want to clean up some space and remove some. It does help with performance, but the engine itself is faster. Power Automate flows can react to business events. For example, you want to be notified when orders are released. You want someone to be notified when a payment is received on an invoice. So these are Business Central events, and they can be incorporated in Power Automate flows. And then finally, you can show most fields with the personalized option without having to go to design or requesting assistance from a developer to create a customization to make fields that are in the table available on the page. We recommend that you use this power wisely, because if you had too many fields, you could impact the performance of the page. But it is very useful to be able to tailor the pages to have the columns or fields you need to see without requiring assistance. If you want to reach out, you can contact us through hi@opendoorerp.com and either submit ideas, ask questions, or book a consult with one of our experts. Have a good day.